Welcome into The Perch, our post-game show here on the PHNX Cardinals podcast, presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Chierstin here with Derek Montilla, the one and only Frank Sanders. Johnny Venerable will be joining us shortly from Chicago. Hopefully he's still bundled up and can feel his fingers when we get to him.
Johnny, Frank needed to sit in your seat, by the way, so just to let you know, you might not be giving it up.
But 33-22 Cardinals, the final in Chicago. The Cardinals are undefeated, 7-0 on the road this season, and the Bears were who we thought they were. The Cardinals were able to, it might have been a little closer than I would have liked at some times, but I never felt like the Cardinals, didn't have control of this game.
Yeah, they looked exactly like the team that we thought they were. But what's more important is that our team was the team we thought they were. We thought they were better offensively. We thought they'd be better defensively as well. We thought our coaching staff was much better and superior in a lot of areas. And Kliff came out with a great game plan. Fortunately, on our side, our defense showed up and played extremely well, whereas every time they got a pick or interception or a sack, we made something happen. And it was a great win for the Arizona Cardinals. Look, it's not easy to go on the road and win in a cold area. Right. But the Birds came out. They seemed like they handled it very well and came away with the dub.
The Cardinals have played outstanding complementary football all year long, and I feel like that's something that gets overused a lot in sports and a lot in football, but there's two things that I've noticed about this team. When they tend to make a mistake, the whatever unit is on the field next always seems to make up for it. And anytime the defense comes up with a turnover, it seems like the offense capitalizes on it. And that's two qualities of a team that are outstanding to watch.
It's funny because it's 2 points to that. The talent level is one, but what is more important is the leadership. Is that they understand the moment, they understand the assignment, and then they go out and with the intent to do their job, they do it extremely well enough where it's not, why'd you put me in that position or why'd you do that? And it's not finger pointing. It's okay, time to rally the guys and get a stop or make something happen where we can overcome what just happened to our defense. And you can see that, and it looks like really good complementary football.
Yeah, and the defense made the offense's day easy today.
Yeah.
They gave them turnovers in the red zone. They gave them turnovers on their side of the field. So the offense didn't have to do very much, but they did score on the majority, I think almost all of those turnovers, right? Yeah. So, again, it's that complementary to each other. If the offense isn't doing their part on their side, then all that hard work that the defense is doing, it slowly erodes, right? Yeah. But the offense was able to capitalize, and the Cardinals pulled out a nice win.
All right, let's take a look at what you guys are saying in the chat. Jacob saying our run D is still very concerning.
Yes.
And my eyes are bad. So let me try to read the rest of this. What if we were playing in the playoffs and we're struggling getting points on the board? We're barely going to get the ball too because the opposing offense is eating the clock. Here's the thing, though. The Bears basically ate the clock for the Cardinals, I feel like, in this situation. Their time of possession was far greater than the Cardinals, but the Cardinals that's just how the game kind of went. The Cardinals were just a more efficient team and didn't have to be out there longer, which honestly was probably pretty good for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I agree.
In his first game back, he missed the last few games and hadn't played a game since the end of October. So it was probably a good thing for the offense, to be honest with you. And Frank, you've mentioned this before, kind of the bend don't break, something's got to give. Well, we knew that that Chicago was gonna run the ball, right? All they did was run the ball, and so you're gonna give up some yards. They gave up a couple rushing touchdowns, but at the end of the day, they were able to keep them at bay enough to win the game.
You have to look at the type of defense that we have, and our defense is really not built with the intent. Probably at the beginning of the year with the names that we had and Phillips and the guys that was supposed to be in the inside and JJ there, we had an opportunity where we could stop some of the running games because they had big bodies that we can move around. But as the season has progressed, you can see that our actual secondary, the back seven, I'm going to say back seven has been the most dominant part of our game with the turnovers that they're able to get. But when you look at our front four and the next two guys are Hicks, you look at that Simmons, who's not a real run stopper, but he's more of a coverage guy, and and he's playing his position well. Hicks has all the tackles on our defense for the most part. He's leading our team in tackles, probably the NFL in defense in tackles in itself. But our defensive line is really with one intent. It is to put pressure on the quarterback, stop the run on the way to the pass, and that is what Marcus Goldman is known for. That is what Chandler Jones is known for, and they do that extremely well. The bend don't break mentality is there. Some teams will get running yards, but when we get into that red zone area or that 40-yard area where you still have to throw the ball, that's when our back six or our back seven becomes more important. So that sometimes I'm not really worried about our running game because most teams will not just run down your throat. The team that had the opportunity just to be a complete run the ball down your throat team was the Titans, and we just dismantled that team when we first played them at the first game of the season. And everyone else right now has quarterbacks that just has to throw the ball. So it works in our favor because that's the system that's in play right now. I'm not really worried about the running game because our defense finds a way, and Vance Joseph finds a way to make a play call that puts our defense in a good position and then end up making a stop.
The defense played so well today. It was a toss-up. We kind of wanted to give Kyler Murray our MVP award here on the show, which is the DraftKings Sportsbook app King of the Game, but ultimately decided it had to go to a defender, and Jacob saying, Byron Murphy, my God, that dude is a killer, and we agree because Byron Murphy is our king of the game. He had 1 interception, 6 total tackles, and accounted for half a sack, and he was one of 4 players that had an interception today and set the tone on defense. But Byron was one of those guys that was kind of, in on every play, was super efficient, and just one guy that kind of caught our eye. But listen, we could have given it to several different players. Absolutely.
I mean, it was just defensively, they played absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
And they took advantage of every opportunity that was basically handed to them. You didn't think Andy was going to play that bad. Of course, we look back and look at the picks. One was the first one I can say, yeah, maybe Andy, because it was behind the receiver. The second one, the tight end had the ball. As he's falling, he doesn't have full control. He gives it up. Budda Baker's the man on the spot. The next, and you just see how the consistency of the next interceptions take place. Guys in the right spot at the right place at the right time. And which I'm surprised I'm going to say this as a receiver. Our DB's got some great goddamn hands.
Yeah.
Normally DBs just drop balls all day long, and you guys know I'm telling the truth. They got good hands for our defensive backs, and that's something that is pretty special to watch because they're not missing the opportunities and they're taking advantage of every opportunity given to them.
The other thing I really liked was the fact that they had that penalty. They were, they were punting the ball. Gardick gets that penalty. They get the ball back. They immediately intercept it. Like the defense didn't back down for a second. They didn't feel sad or sorry about it. They just immediately come back and get the ball right back like they were going to anyway. And I think it's things like that really impress me because those can be turning points in a game. And to be honest, when you look at this end score, the end score I feel is a lot closer than this game felt watching it, but the defense really was the big key in this game, right? The fact that Kyler Murray had a couple of issues with the ball, handling the ball, things like that. The fact that they were just able to give the offense the ball in so close to the end zone already just made their day so much easier. It was a great performance.
Well, to go along with our DraftKings Sportsbook app, King of the Game, if you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use the code PHNX. Bet $1 on any team to score in a game. If they do, you're going to get $100 in free bets. But as always, it's 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. All right. Well, we've talked a ton about the defense already, and we could continue to talk about the defense. But
Saul's mad we're not drinking, by the way.
Frank is always drinking.
Well, I mean, it's a celebration, man. All we do is get a great opportunity. Saul, I got one for you and for the Arizona Cardinals. Bird Travel, DraftKings Sportsbook, some Coke, and actually it's Hennessy and Coke. Hennessy and Coke.
That's how you celebrate.
It's pretty awesome.
Dang, Frank.
I don't play no games, girl. I don't play no games when it comes to that. Celebrating a win.
It's the 10th win. You gotta go big.
Unopened whiskey on the shelf behind Send It, Speedo Jackson.
Oh, there's some Glenn Levin right there. Absolutely right. Bottle of Glenn Levin sitting right in the back. I know.
I can't see. I am literally the worst day drinker of all time. I'll have like 2 sips of alcohol when the sun's out, and I'll take a nap.
Do I need to maneuver my cup and turn this into an opportunity right here? I just happen to have an extra cup in there. I'm just saying.
No, because I'll be sleeping by the time you're finishing the show. Like it puts me to sleep for some reason.
There it is.
Oh, that's a sweet.
Is this Saul's bottle? Saul, you told us to drink. We're gonna open your bottle now, buddy.
I don't know if we should open this one right here.
He's watching right now, so
we should crack this Founders Reserve. We're going. If you say yes, Saul, we cracking it.
Timothy says Hennessy is classy AF. Just saying. Yeah. I don't know what the heck this is.
That is.
Is it expensive?
Deliciousness. It's delicious.
Is it expensive?
You ready?
Saul would understand. Yeah. Peter says if we open up this bottle.
I'm with I
don't know what this is, but if Saul gives us the okay, then I'll have some of this. So Saul, we're just waiting on you. At this point, Saul, it's on you. Okay, it's on you.
Oh my goodness, too good. Cardinals got to win. It's all exciting. Yeah. You can't look. This is a special moment and a special team. You know, we talk about so many things that are happening offensively, defensively. Just go back. Let's just back up a little bit. We go back a week or 2 weeks before. We had our starters was not healthy. The bye week came at a perfect time to get guys healthy. We got all our guys on the field right now, and we look like we can literally go any place and dominate. And as a fan, as a former player, I marvel at this level of talent. I'll back up to something I said last week, and you checked me on it, Chierstin, which was I thought my team in 1997 was better than this team. And I literally I was on the I-10 driving one day, and I said something like stupid one day on the radio. I was on the air with Chierstin. I was like, and I heard Chierstin like, come on, Frank. Are you for real, Frank? Like, I heard you say it. And I was like, I had to check myself at the door because this team is 100%.
Wait, you were
lower.
Driving and you could hear me in your head saying, come on, Frank.
Yes.
A little Chierstin on his shoulder.
Yeah.
It's just because our team is so good.
You're a fraud, Frank.
But you always kind of replay what we're talking about just to make sure. And you're absolutely right. This is a really, really good team. You guys have every right to be proud of what the Cardinals are doing. Here at PHNX, we try to give you inside coverage, bring you guys information and knowledge to stuff that's just, that maybe that's behind closed doors. But in reality, as a former player, I'm watching these guys and I'm like, this is a really well put together team. And we see it week in and week out, just watching them go out and play. And that complimenting football or having the level of talent we have, the things that these guys are able to do. And Kliff, just the growth of him and our coaching staff, the oneness of our coaching staff is special. You just don't get that a lot. And I've 9 years in the NFL. I can tell you how many times there was an offensive side and a defensive side, and there wasn't a bend don't break. We came back and you could see the look on our defensive guys' faces when the interceptions that happened and things that were not good. I'm getting out this little segue, but it's really good to watch. I'm really proud of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm proud of our team, proud of the people, how we're supporting them and the things that are taking place. And you really deserve it, Arizona, because there was years, we talked about this earlier, that they were blackout games because we weren't there.
I watched more Titans games one year than I did any Cardinals
and
game.
It's just pretty special.
It's crazy to think about that now.
Yeah, it is. It's a good situation.
So is your assessment though of this team that's why they're so good right now? Is they're just hitting in all ways, like defensively, offensively, everything's just kind of
they're all on one message right now, one sound. It seems like we talked about that when we had Christian Kirk on the line on the air one day. And he said the standard is a standard. And it seems like they're trying to keep reaching for another standard. Yeah. And whatever it is, they're all together in it. And it's not like offense on one side, defense on the other side. It's like these guys are together. And that to me is a special moment to be watching because, we got to the Super Bowl one time and that group seemed like a really good group of guys. Right now, we're watching it again. And that's something like you got to take advantage of these moments because it doesn't always happen. Next year, there's contract situations, and these guys look like they play. With all the talent they have, they don't have any egos. Yeah. That's even more special. I know Chierstin always says she don't like divas.
I'm so
and
big
I can tell you right now, we don't have divas on our team. We have players that are performing. Not just players, but we have players that are performing and doing their job. That's more important.
Yeah, so I was going to say that it seems like everybody kind of just understands that they have a role on this team and what their role is and how it fits together for the greater good. And everybody is definitely on the same page. I don't know how hard it is to get a team like that when you've got a mixture of young guys and superstar athletes as well, like a guy in DeAndre Hopkins, where everybody's selfless and everybody's on the same page.
It's hard.
It's special.
It's hard. It's hard to keep guys it's hard to keep guys coming to work. It's hard to keep guys focused and believing that what we're doing is working. It's hard to get a guy to say, you know what, D-Hop might catch 5 balls a day, but A.J. Green is still on the other side running his route just as hard. Yeah. That's what you're watching in the film. When we talked about J.J. and how important J.J. was to this team, was because you had a guy who had tenure and time in the NFL, and then he was playing defensive tackle. He's always been a defensive end, but now he's playing defensive tackle because our tackles were hurt. Our interior line was hurt, so he would be on the outside. Then they put Chandler on the outside of him, or they'll put Marcus on the outside of him. He's doing selfless stuff. And when you see your veterans and the guys that are getting paid do selfless stuff, guys that are Pro Bowlers with names, it just transitions into the fact that who am I? I need to be more selfless, and then that way we become a better team, and that's what it seems like on this staff.
And it feels like D-Hop was a catalyst, right? Because when he came to this team, all of a sudden he started recruiting for this.
That's
team.
a good point.
That's how the J.J. Watt thing happened. That's how other players came here, and I mean, it felt like he wasn't just someone that came to the Cardinals. He was someone that came to the Cardinals and wanted to change this team and be a big part of the reason why this team changed, and he has been.
That's a good call.
Well, when it comes to this game, I think, DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, we all assumed that they were going to be back. But, hey, we had assumed that in weeks prior, and it didn't happen. So it was great to see both of those guys back on the field. And, with the way it started, Kyler allowing the ball to slip out of his hands because it was so wet. And I was like, the first play.
Right.
And I was kind of like, oh, my gosh, this is going to be an interesting game. But he capped it off with an incredible touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins, who had incredible separation to be able to catch that ball. But it was just like, oh, thank goodness. It was probably, one of Kyler, if not the best pass of the game for him. And it's great to see them back and, just be able to know that they're healthy, and we're hopefully going to have them the rest of the season.
And it didn't take long for them to connect like that,
I know.
right? It was like, wow, they're just right back up to making highlight plays the first week that they returned. So I mean, at this point, it feels like you want them in there. You want to just try to make sure everybody stays healthy as much as possible between now and the playoffs, right? But you did want to get Hop and Kyler Murray back so that they could get this time in. And did we get an approval here?
I don't think so. So Peter says, so Saul's really going to talk about celebratory drinks, and then when we want to pop bottles, this man leaves the messages on read, quote, read. Yeah. Frank, come get your man. Yeah. So Frank's taking things into his own hands. He is, how do you say it? How do you say it?
Levin.
Glenn Levin?
Yeah.
So not Levitt.
Yep, Glenn Levitt.
Oh, Glenn Levitt. Okay. Frank's taking things into his own hands, and Derek just went up, I'm assuming, to get another cup so that we can drink some of this. So what is this? It's whiskey?
This is a scotch.
Oh, crud muffin.
You might need a splash of something.
Scotch?
Yeah, scotch is good.
Oh.
Pass that little thing there one time right there. Just a good pour right there.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll put it back, and then we'll figure it out. Cheers, Cardinals.
We have a segment later on. Cheers to you. We have a segment later on called Cheers to You, but for now, we're just going to cheers to a Cardinals win. Cheers to you guys in the chat. Thank you for encouraging us to drink scotch, which I hate. All right.
Cheers to Saul.
Okay, it's actually not bad at all.
Yeah,
this is scotch?
Yeah, that's what happens when it's good scotch. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. I wish I had some ice cubes in it, but...
We got an Elon Musk super chat. What up, Elon?
Elon Musk.
What's up? Drink
up, boys. Got to get used to winning.
Yes.
I'm going to assume that boys is a gender neutral term here.
It's like the locker room thing.
But I'll drink to it anyway. That's really good scotch, man. I can't believe I never thought I would ever drink scotch and say that was good. There is a first time for everything, guys.
Yeah.
We'll get you away from those boneless chicken nuggets any day now.
All right. Well, we mentioned the turnovers by the defense leading to points for the offense. So Jalen Thompson setting the tone with an interception on the opening drive, which led to that Hopkins touchdown we just mentioned. Budda Baker with an interception that led to a Kyler Murray rushing touchdown, his first of the day. Byron Murphy interception leading to a Matt Prater field goal. And then Zach Allen, which was one of my favorite plays of the game. I think somebody mentioned it was almost a thick six in the chat, which I love. That would have been amazing if it was.
A thick six.
Leah, if you can find who said that, we'd like to give them credit because that's hilarious.
There it is. We're not going back down. It's low tone Capone.
Low tone Capone. Thank you for that.
10 yards away from a big six.
But it eventually led to Kyler Murray's second rushing touchdown of the day. Kyler Murray with
Okay.
Oh my Lord, Peter! That's a big time super chat. Thank you.
Peter.
I feel bad,
Peter.
Saul. Get you a new bottle after
you okay,
this.
buddy?
Now we're drinking the whole bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bottle.
We're going to leave some, but that ain't happening now.
So anyways, that Zach Allen interception leading to Kyler Murray's second rushing touchdown of the day. Kyler had 2 in the air, 2 on the ground, a fantastic performance. So these were all potentially turning points in the game, but let's go to Frank's turning point. Frank, what was your turning point in this game?
You always kind of, the way we started the game off, I thought the first 2 picks were something that was pretty special because it gave us the momentum immediately in a hostile environment with the weather being cold. But the 2 interceptions were pretty special. But I'm definitely my turning point of the game was when James Conner reached out with the one-hand catch, the one-hand grab. It looked like Kyler was just throwing a little flare out to the right side, but it was a little bit high. He reached out and caught it one hand. Defender right there, but he gave him just enough just to make a miss, and then it was off to the races, and he ended up scoring a touchdown. And that, to me, put the Cardinals up 21. I think it was 21-zip at the time. Then they came back and scored 21-7. But that, to me, was something that was pretty special. We already had 2 touchdowns from that stand earlier and off 2 interceptions. But JC had a great game. He came out exactly how Johnny had talked about, that it was going to be a physical game. Mm-hmm. It was going to be pretty much us trying to dominate the offensive line. Unfortunately, our defense they kept giving us the ball back in such great field position that it didn't require us to be a physical team as much as the Bears tried to be as they was running Montgomery. But JC is my turning point of the game because it gave us 21 points before we got into the half, and I thought it was pretty special.
Do you know how many touchdowns James Conner has had this season?
I think that's number 14.
14, which is a career high for him.
Wow.
He previously had 13 during his Pro Bowl season back in 2018. And he honestly is on pace to potentially get the franchise record. This is so sad that his name is escaping me.
David Johnson?
He got sent to purgatory, yeah. I was going to say Houston purgatory. David Johnson. David Johnson has the franchise record with 20 rushing touchdowns.
Wow, that's pretty special. That was a special year for David what he was doing.
Or touchdowns total. Sorry,
I'll be honest about this here. I didn't think he was going to work out. I really didn't, because he'd been injury prone over in Pittsburgh, and he hadn't really finished a great season. It just didn't like he was going to be a perfect fit for us because we had got rid of Kenyon Drake, and I thought, well, we got rid of Kenyon Drake, we just brought another guy who's agile, big, but can also run between the tackles and had hands. Yeah, and I didn't think we got rid of Drake for whatever reason, but then we get him who had already had injury situation, and I really honestly didn't think he was, but he had him, and when Chase was healthy, was just like, that would have been a hell of a duo to watch over the last couple of weeks if Chase hadn't got hurt. But Benjamin stepped in and looks absolutely just as good as Chase would have.
Kenyon Drake, as you would put it, was boo-boo. Okay.
That's good usage of it. Good usage. Proper usage. You nailed it.
So James Conner, I felt was going to be an upgrade, but I had no idea it would be this much of an upgrade.
I definitely didn't think they would utilize him like that, right? Like, I everything Frank said was true.
Well, I really got Frank.
You got him on that one. I thought he would just be kind of like a TD vulture for Chase, and I thought he was going to get a lot of goal line touches like he's gotten. But man, they've really found ways to utilize him, and that's what's been the most impressive is the run game, everything else. You all right over there? All right, good.
I've never heard it put back. No one's ever given it back to me.
I straight looked you in the eye for
Look,
him.
when you did it, I was like, as you would put it.
As you would put it.
That would be like if I said that was crud muffin, but I was like, man, that was good. Absolutely fabulous.
Peter with Chierstin is loose. Yeah, 2 sips of this Glenlivet has got me pretty loose. Let's go to telling you guys a little bit more about the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and then I believe Johnny is ready for us from Chicago. So before we move on, a little more about the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you download it, bet $1 on any team to score in a football game. If they do, you're going to get $100 in free bets. It's that simple. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also get skin in the game with new same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game to get a bigger payout. I believe Derek got himself a bigger payout today because his hit. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. All right, let's go to Johnny Venerable. Johnny on the spot out in Chicago at Soldier Field. Johnny, how are you, my man? Or can you feel your extremities?
1 second, JV. 1 second.
Hold on, Johnny. We can't hear you.
For the majority of the game. No go?
No, we can hear you now.
All right, repeat what you just said.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, they're turning the lights off on me. No. Thankfully, I got to stay inside for the large majority of the game. So I'm going to be cold when I walk back to my hotel. But outside of that, no, I was pretty comfortable. It is a shit show. It is not good weather here. Cold and rainy now, sub 40 degrees, but it feels colder than that. And thankfully, the Cardinals didn't really let it get to them.
All right, who all did you speak to before you came out here? Was it just Kliff or Kliff Kyler? What was kind of give us a rundown of what the big message was after this one?
Chierstin, you know better than to think Kyler comes out first. I got to hear from Budda Baker, which this is a fun story. So his wife is expected to give birth any day now. Their first child, I believe, together, which is going to be a baby girl, is due soon. So he came out first, and the reason for that is because Michael Bidwell allowed him to fly on his private jet because his private jet has Wi-Fi. So then if they had to turn the jet around and he'll take it home, he can come back quickly and be with his wife. The charter plane, for whatever reason, doesn't have Wi-Fi. So they got Budda in there for a couple questions and then rushed him out. Yeah, that's a true story. The charter for the Cardinals does not have Wi-Fi. Michael Bidwell's private jet does. So Budda was the first to speak with us, which that was a cool story. And thankfully, up until this point, his wife hasn't gone into labor yet, his girlfriend. And then we did hear from Kliff Kingsbury as well. And Kliff gave some notable comments, specifically, pertaining to his offense. He knew that the Cardinals would be limited in what they were able to do in the passing game. Kyler Murray with only 15 attempts today, completing 11. But I think really, at the end of the day, is the Cardinals were successful because they did not turn the ball over and they forced Andy Dalton into 4 interceptions. The Bears, they moved the ball successfully. And a lot of people probably aren't going to talk about that after this game, but they had more yards. They had more plays. They were sloppy at times, but they were effective. Now, the Cardinals, to their credit, weathered the storm. The defense forced those takeaways, and the offense largely converted, especially in the first half. But it was probably a C+, B- level performance from a Cardinal team where if they're playing this game without inclement weather and they're playing their A game, this is like a 40-plus point victory by and large. But today, a little bit closer, given the elements.
Big day for Budda Baker at an interception, a big win against a scoot out. That Bidwell jet and the fact that Bidwell is a pilot as well, I feel like continuously comes in handy for the team. That's a great story, Johnny. Appreciate that. Did you give it a letter grade here, but are you impressed that considering the elements though, with everything wet, slippery, Kyler Murray knocking off some rust, all things considered, it's still got to be an impressive performance, no?
Yeah, in a weird way, the absence of Kyler in the last several weeks when the Cardinals were forced to become not a predominant running team, but developing a different identity with James Conner helped them today. You saw how physical James Conner was, especially run after the catch, that one-handed touchdown run, that element of physicality really helped them. Their offensive line with what equates to 2 backup guards, and Max Garcia and Harlow, I believe his name is, on the left-hand side, filling in for Justin Pugh, who, by the way, looked good and is aiming to come back next Monday. They pushed around Chicago up front. I thought the pass protection was solid. And you said it, Chierstin, for a team, albeit off a bye, to come out east here to the Midwest, where the elements are about as bad as they come. I tweeted before the game, these are the worst elements that Kyler Murray has really ever had to endure, certainly at the NFL level, maybe at the collegiate level. And for them to put together this performance where they left, no doubt. The Bears kind of hung around a little bit in the third quarter. My theory on that is the Cardinals dominated the first half and then kind of went into cruise control in the second half. They'll never say that because typically the Cardinals make tremendous second half adjustments. They look like, especially with a lot of their tackling on David Montgomery, the offense stalling out in the second half, they look like, all right, guys, enough of this. Can we end this? But, the officials, I don't know if you guys saw this too, there were a lot of flags, a lot of irregular flags. This game went on, by and large, a lot longer than it needed to. So I think at the end of the day, the Cardinals are, number one, happy to get a win, happy to get Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins back implemented in their offense successfully. And then also, I don't think they suffered any significant injuries too. So you get this tune-up, which is what it was. It was a tune-up for the big showdown on Monday Night Football a week from tomorrow against the LA Rams.
Johnny, it looked like from the TV spot that the Chicago Bears fans still showed up for the game. It looked like it was a pretty sold-out crowd. But the fans I care about is the Bird Game Travel Group, and you had a chance to hang out with them. How was that moment? What was it like? What was the tailgate like? Tell us a little bit about that.
It was fun. It was at one of the 2, I think, fat poor bars that they have here in Chicago. They do a tremendous job, Tyler and company, getting that set up. There were, I would say, 50-plus fans last night in a private setting with food and drinks. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check that out. And then I know they had a tailgate this morning at a different bar. I was responsible, though, and came right to the stadium to do my job. But last night, yes, they had drink tickets. They had food. It was a good time. They actually, unfortunately, had to share the bar that they had pre-booked with Michigan fans because it was a quote-unquote Michigan bar. And I know Tyler of Bird Game Travel told me that when they booked that setting many months ago, Michigan and the bar owner didn't think they'd be in the Big Ten championship game. And they're like, the Cardinal fans, they're like, well, this is our spot. So it was a good time. And really, I was surprised. A lot of Cardinal fans in attendance. A lot of them had close seats. I think a lot, and I tweeted this out, a lot of Cardinal fans have Midwestern roots like my family. My father, who grew up a St. Louis football Cardinal fan. This is a game they circle on their calendar every 3 years to be able to come out and support their team, hopefully in driving distance. And I think if you're Michael Bidwell and Steve Keim, who were kind of making their way on the sideline, shaking hands, meeting fans, you were encouraged by the amount of people that traveled to this game. For all the hoopla that Cardinal fans get, and sometimes deservedly so, about selling their tickets at State Farm Stadium, on the road, they showed out today. And it was an impressive performance by the Cardinals, especially in the first half, to weather the storm, figuratively and literally, and to come out to that fast 14-0 start and really put in the cruise control after that.
All right, Johnny, I got one more quick question for you, and then we'll let you go get into warmer weather conditions. You mentioned the win after the bye. So Kliff Kingsbury 0-2 before today after the bye. And so did anybody ask him about kind of getting that monkey off of his back? He, made an effort as far back as the off season to be able to be prepared for the bye week and what was to come afterwards and make adjustments and see what other teams were doing. And they were able to come out and get that first win after the bye in the Kliff Kingsbury era. So did anybody mention that in the post game?
Yeah. And he downplayed it, of course, gave all his credit to his surrounding coaches and his team. You just get the vibe this team is different this year. I asked a follow-up question pertaining to that about being 7-0 on the road, every margin of victory, double digits in impressive fashion, in near dominant fashion. Any significance to that? He said no. But he said, of course, he flipped it on the other end, Chierstin, and he said, but we're not a very good home team right now. So we need to harness whatever we're doing right now on the road and bring that back home. it's funny. You may not think of it because it's been so long, but if they were to lose to the LA Rams next Monday night, that will be 3 straight home losses. The Packers, the Panthers, and then the LA Rams. So that's where his mindset is, rightfully so. He's downplaying all the success right now. He didn't really get into the nitty-gritty as to what's changed. I just think better players, more leaders, right? Third year in the system, third year doing this. You think about a refinement to your schedule and your process as a head coach. And for him to come this far, their preparation right now at 10-2 is second to none in the NFL. And he's in a good place as the head coach.
I'm glad you asked him about 7-0 and not 8-0. So
yes, thank you for correcting me. I would have asked them the wrong one. I'm excited. I just want them to have an undefeated record on the road this year so we can write and talk about that. So I was like 8-0.
I'm just messing with you, Johnny. All right, great job as always. We appreciate you. Now go get warm.
See you guys.
That was Johnny on the spot. Now let's move into our crystal ball segment. Cardinals get a win today, but as he mentioned, a big test, a home game against the LA Rams on Monday Night Football. So what does today's win mean for the team moving forward?
I'll say that it at least means that Kyler Murray is back, D-Hop is back, and that they had a chance to get back into the groove before one of their most critical games of the regular season, right? So at this point, I would be a little bit more concerned if they were coming back in that game, if that was the game that they were returning in. And I imagine with their injuries that was the target, that no matter what, even if they had to give them this week off, that they would have gotten them back by next week. But I think that this week was important to get them just back into football, back into playing against, an opposing team. And I think that is critical to what's going to come next week.
Super confident right now. Like the health part about it is that's off the table now because they're all back healthy that we know of. They'll have an extra day or two because they're playing on a Monday night, so that'll give them a couple of days more to get healthier. They don't have to, practice typically is only about 3 days out of the week anyway. And since you got an couple extra days, that's going to help. But the confidence of really having a chance to see that this is the team outside of JJ. This is the team we were supposed to be. With all these pieces that we have all our pieces back for the most part, and everyone's there. This is what now the next 4 or 5 games, what can we really do? What's our standard and how far that standard could really be pushed? And Chierstin said, we have our own standard. I don't even know what that is because at the time they were still scoring 30 points a game, which today they still put up another 30-pointer. Right. They haven't put up a 40-pointer yet. I don't think so. Am I wrong? I don't think they have put up a 40-pointer this year.
No.
But see, then that's so. And the sky's still the limit.
That 40 burger still eludes them.
And the sky is still the limit with this team right now. And so that, to me, I think that is it's where they are right now. Super confident. This team should be getting ready for the Rams. Another good situation. They have a little more time. And to me, when you can see all your pieces on the table, it just makes you feel that much better because as a coach, you're not limited in your playbook. And we've seen this coach, Kliff and Vance as well, adjust extremely well throughout the season and make the adjustments with whoever's available to go out and play with. And they've done a very good job with that. And to be in the position we are right now, I mean, to me, I would just be super confident because I know that we can only get better. We can't get worse.
We keep saying that this team is special, that this team is built different, but they still have to go out there each week and prove it to us. And so after coming out after the bye, playing a cold weather game in rainy, sloppy conditions, and getting Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, your 2 best players, back on offense after a lengthy hiatus, I think we still had some things that were up in the air. Is this a great team that hasn't moved past their woes from last season and was going to get to the second half of the season out of the bye, and all of a sudden we were going to see weird performances, uncharacteristic performances again? Mm-hmm. Well, I think this was just one of those other statement wins. I know it's the Chicago Bears, but all things considered, it was one of those wins where they proved who we thought that they were, and they've proved that they are a special team. Yeah. And I think wins like this shows them, it solidifies to them that they're right about who they think they are.
Yeah. The thing Isaiah Simmons said before this game, and I brought it up on the tailgate show, but about the concept of taking teams like the Bears lightly. And he was saying, looking around at his teammates and their preparation, that he didn't feel like they did that at all at any point, right? Which is why I think, yeah, they've struggled. That Panthers game looked really bad. But I think when you look at this team, their consistency is because they prepare each and every week for their opponent. I'm not worried about their preparation for the Rams game. I'm almost just maybe worried about over-preparing, I guess, because they've done such a good job this season that there's nothing to really change or deviate away from. Just be ready and, like you said, take the extra rest so that their bodies are ready and they're healthy.
They don't let a poor play or a poor performance at any point define who they are.
Correct.
They move past it and they take care of business, and I love that about this team. Johnny mentioned, and we are mentioning, now we're looking ahead to this big Monday Night Football game, and we're going to do it in the right way. We've got a block party going out at Westgate from 3 to 6, once again teaming up with Bird Gang Travel Club and the Lola.
Join us.
We're expecting around 500 people to be out there. So from 3 to 6 p.m., this is what you're going to get if you go to birdgangtravelclub.com and purchase your tickets now. During that time period, 3 hours of all you can eat, all you can drink. And I mean, all you can eat and all you can drink.
Yeah,
it's good food.
She's not joking.
It's really good food, and it's whatever you want to drink.
I can attest to the fact they leave the guacamole completely unattended. You can have as much of it as you want, and they'll just bring more out. It's great.
Yeah.
They keep serving you. It's it's fabulous.
There's no limit on the drinks. There's no limit on the food.
The atmosphere, the music, the
there's
sound,
going to be
the quality,
a DJ.
where it's at.
We're doing giveaways. Come hang with us. We're going to be
It's
around.
It's fly. Like that little cove of area just feels like you're in Vegas a little bit.
Yeah.
And it has the ability to make you feel like that. So what you need to come on out. Let's have a party. Get it going. Even if you're not inside the actual place, you could just be on the outside still jamming and getting it in.
Well, it's a
and
whole block
celebrating.
party now.
Yeah.
So last
it's
time
going to be in and out.
Yeah, last time. So
They're taking over.
We're taking over like an entire area. So last time it was just inside the Lola.
Oh my
Now
goodness.
it's a whole. It's much bigger this time.
Grab a friend, bring some people.
That's right.
Tailgate with us.
Hang out with
Bring
us.
out to us the Lola, man. It's going to be pretty fabulous. Be there signing autographs, taking pictures, having a great time. Do not sell your tickets. Like Johnny always says, don't sell your tickets. Come ready to party, but come ready to support your team because it's going to be pretty fabulous.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
All right, let's move into our third quarter of the post-game show, which includes Cheers to You. And I got to say, a big time. Oh, we've got drinks. So,
we got drinks.
guys,
Cheers.
let's hold up a glass and toast
Cheers.
to Kliff Kingsbury and his
Yes.
awesome hat that he was wearing today. A 1920 homage to the year the Cardinals officially joined the NFL as the Chicago Cardinals. So it was very fitting that he wore it in Chicago. And I appreciate subtleness. And this is such a subtle.
Yeah, because he don't wear hats.
Does he not?
No, he don't
He's
wear
too
hats.
handsome of a man to wear. Look at how handsome
don't
of
wear
a man
hats.
that is right
I
there.
don't
He
think I've
doesn't
ever
need a
seen him
hat.
wear a hat before. That's
Have
why
you
I'm
seen
like,
his hair?
everything you're saying about it is to be cheers because it is in Chicago. It's
I didn't even notice
1920.
that part.
It's a
But
dope hat.
I don't ever see him wear a hat.
Yeah.
I think maybe the first time I've ever seen him wear a hat.
It does have the Cardinals logo on the side,
does.
which I really like about it. But I mean, yeah, this is like a where can I buy this hat immediate kind of feeling when I saw him wearing this.
It took me a second to like put it all together. Like I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like that's when the Cardinals became a team. I'm like, as the Chicago Cardinals, and they're in Chicago.
She had this whole. It was a whole Carmen Sandiego moment. Yeah, it was pretty great.
Cheers to
So
Cliff.
cheers to you, Kliff Kingsbury, for just an awesome hat. I really appreciated it, and a lot of the folks on Twitter asking where they can get that hat. Frank, you have the hat.
Mm-hmm. I do have the hat. I think we were celebrating the 100 years of the NFL.
Oh.
And a couple years back or a year back, and then I ended up getting that hat because it was something about when every team. So they was doing it for every team, and every team during that time for the 100 years of the NFL. Whatever year you became a part of the NFL, they made a hat for you. And so some teams didn't all have 1920s, but the Cardinals, being one of the oldest franchises, did. And I was privy to get one at that time.
Is it a snapback?
It's a snapback.
Okay. All right.
It's exactly like that.
It's literally the same
exactly
one with the
same
Cardinals
hat.
logo on the side.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Oh,
I
I'm
believe
so jealous.
Saul, welcome back to the
Welcome back,
chat.
brother.
Saul.
No, Saul.
Saul's acting like he never left. Okay, we all know you freaking left us, Saul.
Thank you. So thank you for that.
you're pouring more. I will say, so I don't know. I don't think you were joining us at the time. I do not like scotch, and this is great stuff.
She likes
so I might
scotch.
have like a new drink here.
Yeah.
This is fantastic stuff.
I don't want to put the top on it if you want me to top you off.
Is this super expensive?
We don't know right now. It's $100. So
We gotta-
Oh my God, I'm so good, Frank. I'm good.
Okay.
I don't even have ice in this thing though. There's a good amount of alcohol left in this.
All right. Here we go. Well, just cheers to the Cardinals and the big victory.
Cheers to that hat.
Yeah,
Cheers to the
that
hat.
hat.
Cheers to the
Absolutely.
Cardinals' victory. Cheers to me day drinking, which I'm awful at. So, but I'm doing it for you guys.
She's gonna be asleep in like 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Look, you giving cheers to my man. You know what I'm doing for him on Tuesday.
Getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
Why don't we promote that as well while
Let's
we're here?
go.
On Tuesday, we're going to have a awesome show. The one where Frank gets a K2 tattoo for Kliff Kingsbury live on the show. That is December 7th at 6 p.m. Tune in. Don't miss it. You got to watch it live. Interact with Frank as he's getting a tattoo. This is awesome stuff.
Where are you getting it?
It's
Do you know yet?
Probably on his ankle, right?
No, I don't know. It needs to be seen. I have my first tattoo right here, so I'm not a virgin. But I'm thinking somewhere
your
somewhere
arm?
it needs to be seen. Yeah, I
On
think
your
on
arm
my
now.
left
Okay.
arm, somewhere on my left arm, because my first tattoo's on my right side. So I think this one or probably be here, and something to be seen. I probably might put it on the inside part of my arm, and I think I'm going to put your initials, CS, and JV's initial as well. That's the goal.
It's just-
And then PHNX is definitely going to be at the
PHNX.
bottom.
Oh yeah, the little
okay.
PHNX.
PHNX
Well,
will
that's
get the
required.
bottom.
Frank
You have
keeps
to have the logo.
adding a whole bunch of stuff. But
Yeah.
Top Rocker Tattoo is going to come out to the studio. We appreciate them. They're also hooking you guys up. If you're in the market for a tattoo, use the code PHNX at toprocker.com or give them a call or go in. So at Top Rocker, you're going to get 10% off your next tattoo. So there you go. They're hooking us up.
I might
And
go
they're
in
also
with
hooking you
Saul.
up as
I
well.
might go in and get one myself.
There you go.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
go.
There you
Let's
go.
get it, man. The K2 tattoo is important because remember, initially we had the conversation at the beginning of the season that we probably not what we were gonna. If the Cardinals had done something pretty special, then we would get it. I said I would get a tattoo because if I see Kliff make the adjustments and change as a coach, and he's only done that. I mean, just from game plan wise, scheme wise, and also just his demeanor and like JV said in the postgame show, he just said he's refined himself in a position where he understands what it's like to be an NFL head coach. He's not concerned about his past, of what his past failures were. He's taken ownership of the team. He's taken ownership of his position and his offense and the players that Steve Keim and Michael Bidwell has presented to him, and he's done a fabulous job with that. So then after the San Francisco 49ers game, which I definitely didn't think we were going to walk away with a win,
No, you
and
did not.
we got a win, and it ended up being something where I said, I'll get a tattoo on Tuesday if he gets a win. And as soon as we got a win,
The
And so-
planning started.
but the idea started happening, and
And
now
every day since then, Frank has talked about getting this tattoo, and it is
Yep.
finally happening.
I'm excited about it.
All right, let's move into our fourth quarter final drive presented by Bird Gang Travel, our friends over at Bird Gang Travel, which we appreciate, and Johnny got to hang out with this weekend. Guys, final thoughts on this game. Anything that we did not already talk about?
I will say that overall, I think it was an impressive win. I know, like what we said earlier, the score might not show it as being as big of a blowout as it was, but it felt like even the points that the Bears scored were kind of meaningless at times, you know. And aside from making sure that they covered the spread, which I needed them to do, but the thing about the Cardinals is that defensively they just seem so locked in right now, and I think that that's going to be the most important thing going forward. I know Kyler and the offense can get the job done. I just still have questions at time about the defense and, secondary, what they're going to do. That Panthers game, disturbed me. And so, again, I just want to see how they can recover and how they can get better between now and the postseason.
Great win. Great moment to look forward to the next phase and the next step where we really want to get to. Like, you got to win. You win against the Rams. It shows that, you've already won the division. So you put yourself automatically in the playoff position. So you have that door. You already established that. But then there's other goals that these guys have, individual goals. Zach Ertz came from 100 and some catches. Now he's probably here. He's probably want to finish up 50 to 40 catches. Everyone has their own goals that they want to keep achieving. And so right now, to me, I see this team they have that drive and that desire. A little notation I really think is pushing this team and driving these guys, and a little bit is J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
I think to see him come back and to want to be able to put themselves in a position.
And when they're out on the practice field and he's off to the side running sprints and trying to make a comeback after everybody thought that he wasn't going to be able to come back.
I think those little things right there are nuggets on why this team is doing what they're doing. And that to me is something that says this. That's why we keep saying this team is special, because they have enough guys in the places. We have a bunch of talent. And this is probably, Chierstin and JV said it, and I didn't believe him. This is one of the best teams ever assembled across the board, talent-wise, athletically, mentally, and just internally, soul-wise. Like, they're just not greedy divas. These guys are Pro Bowlers. We got Super Bowl champions on our team. We got guys in positions that can make plays. And my opinion right now is that this is a good time just to continually chase these guys' goals and look at each other where they can be, still taking it one game at a time.
It stems from what you said earlier, though. It really stems from leadership, I feel like, right? It stems from the leadership of the players. It stems from, Kliff stepping up and being more of a leader for the team. It just feels like they are all on the same page, and everything you said right now sounds like leadership, confidence, knowing your roles. Everything that this team has been able to do this season has been because of that leadership. And I think that J.J. Watt is a huge leader. Whether he's injured or not, he's going to continue to be a huge leader for this team.
It's pretty special.
You know what this game was missing?
What?
There's one thing that's missing. Kliff Kingsbury standing up on the podium and saying, the Bears were who we thought they were, and we did not let them off the hook.
And then just drops the mic, kicks over the podium, high fives some dude on the way out of the room, and then just leaves.
If you don't say it in the post-game press conference, say it in the dang locker room. Would that not be amazing? And then all the guys, I would be so here for that.
I'd run through a brick wall for that, man.
Probably some stuff that he probably said that just was on point. But yeah, that would have been a hell of a mic drop to walk off.
He already has the homage to the 1920 Chicago Cardinals. If he were to just cap it off with that quote, oh my goodness.
Chef's kiss.
I might have to be along with you with the K2 tattoo.
Look,
at that point.
I'm telling you, look, the K2 tattoo is going to be pretty special. I think once y'all see it in its design, I think we all should probably just consider getting one. Yeah. It doesn't have to be 5 inches or 7 inches or 12 inches. It could be like a 2.5, 1 inch to 2.5 inches in length, and
or
then you'd
it could be your entire back. Either way.
Yeah, it could be somebody's entire back, or their or their face.
All right, your face.
Yeah, right, or your neck, a neck tattoo or something like that.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys joining us for the first Perch post-game show.
Yeah, the Perch.
So we've been working on some new segments and some new branding things. So let us know what you guys think about it. But we appreciate you joining us. The Cardinals remain undefeated on the road with a victory in Chicago. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Cheers.